Do you know what event ended three Neolithic civilizations over 4,000 years ago? Welcome back to the Nova Chronicles, where today we travel back to a time where the population of the entire world would fit in fewer than 60 Indiana Motor Speedways. Today we're going to investigate the 4.2 kiloyear period, an event that happened, you guessed it, 4,200 years ago, around 2200 BCE. Around this time, bronze tools had started spreading throughout the world, replacing the stone tools that had been used in prior millennia, and society had become more stratified, with an upper class of wealthier individuals emerging. In Egypt, the Great Pyramids of Giza had only been built a couple hundred years earlier, and Egyptians were starting to build ships for maritime trade. In the Akkadian Empire in Mesopotamia, they were experiencing agricultural surpluses which were driving high levels of wealth across the civilization. Over in the Indus Valley Civilization, modern-day Pakistan, stone, bronze, and terracotta art were being produced by craftsmen of all levels. Shockingly, just a few hundred years later, the Egyptian Old Kingdom and Akkadian empires had collapsed, and the Indus Valley Civilization was almost entirely abandoned. While multiple factors contributed to their decline, the one historians consider most impactful was the 4.2 kiloyear event. In essence, it was a massive climate event that marked the beginning of the Megalayan age, the age we are currently in. The 4.2 kiloyear event was a long-term drought that affected a substantial portion of the planet. While scientists disagree on the geographic extent and timeline of the event, it had major ramifications on civilizations across the planet. Scientific models have suggested that the event was a result of significant weakening in the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation, a large system of ocean currents that carry warm water from the tropics into the North Atlantic. This weakening disrupted ocean currents, which led to precipitation and temperature deviations in different regions. These changes varied across the globe. In Eastern Europe, the Italian peninsula, and North Africa, winters became colder, which changed soil formations. The Iberian Peninsula and most of Asia experienced drier climates, which led to weaker monsoons, decreasing crop output. Conversely, northern and southern Africa experienced wetter climates due to southward shifts in the intertropical convergence zone, the place where northeast and southeast trade winds converge, though Nile water levels declined shortly after. Finally, the Italian peninsula experienced drier winters but wetter summers, which led to a major decline in their forest land. The result of these climate deviations was catastrophic for certain civilizations. While many were able to adapt and survive, others faced dire circumstances which led to their eventual demise. To be clear, this event did not wipe out civilizations in a short period of time, but contributed to their collapse over centuries. In Egypt, the aforementioned low Nile levels, coupled with a power vacuum due to a king's death, led to low crop outputs and civil wars between prospective leaders that led the civilization to ruin. The Akkadian Empire in Mesopotamia fell under similar circumstances: low crop yields due to a dry spell, a prolonged cold winter, and resulting civil turmoil which led to their demise. The collapse of the Indus Valley Civilization was slightly more complex, given it wasn't as much a collapse as it was a gradual abandonment. After a series of weak monsoons, many urban areas could not be maintained, so individuals left to seek out other land. While smaller tribes still existed in the area, they had relied on trade with Egypt and the Akkadian Empire, so after those civilizations collapsed, these tribes struggled without their trade partners. Over time, more and more individuals moved away until the civilization was history. Major climate events have been seen throughout history and often shape the future of different species. While safeguards are being implemented to shield our world population from harsh climate change, we still do not know when the next event might be.